Hello, my name is Robert J. Sodaro, and I'm a writer for Weird Fiction Quarter. My story that I'd like to read for you tonight is from the folk fiction episode issue of our lovely publication. My story is called Based on a True Story, and quite frankly, this in fact was based on a true story. It happened to me back when I was in high school. In the spring of my sophomore year, 1971, in high school, Frank, the older brother of Pete, my best friend, and Frank's friend Rick, for their final English lit project, were doing research on an incident that took place in our town back in 1653, the hanging of Goodwife Goody Knopf. For reasons that were never clear to anyone at the time, this black mark on our idyllic seacoast New England town seemed to fascinate these two friends. Needless to say, the rest of the community would rather everyone had simply forgotten this dark time in our distant past. To be sure, most folks believe that women accused of witchcraft in the colonies all took place in and around Salem, Massachusetts. But the truth is, there were a number of women accused of such hoary practices during the 1600s in the U.S., while such accusations weren't nearly as prevalent as often reported. Needless to say, one such incident occurred here in our town, and ever since, the town council did everything it could to hide the incident from public records. Because of this, when Frank and Rick began their research, they found it exceedingly difficult to locate any information on the incident. A search of the card catalog in the local library revealed that there were 2 or 3 books that referenced the trial and the subsequent hanging of Goody Knopf. However, a search for the shelves proved fruitless. Ultimately, they had to travel 2 towns over to check the larger library in the city of Bridgefield. As the story goes, related to me by Pete, as they were doing their research, odd things would happen. The phone would ring, but no one was on the line. The doorbell would sound off, but no one was there. Things would randomly fall off a shelf. Strange noises would come from other rooms in the house. A screech or a wailing could often be heard most evenings when they were working, all of which was putting the pair on edge as they got deeper into their research. One afternoon, as they were wrapping up their research, a neighbor reported a strangely dressed woman in a full-length dress that covered her from chin to ankles, a knit shawl wrapped around her shoulders, and wearing a bonnet, approached the house and rang the bell. No one saw the woman leave, but Frank's mom returned after work. Both boys were gone. An extensive manhunt was mounted to no avail, and all their notes appeared to have been burned in the fireplace. Several months later, a dazed and confused Frank, wearing rags that were covered in soot and grease, was found wandering around Providence, Rhode Island, with no memory of how he got there, what happened at the house, or where Rick was. He remembered the woman at the door, but everything after that was a blank. He also had a blue spiral tattoo inked on his left shoulder. For years afterwards, he would awake screaming. And that is my tale. I hope you enjoyed it.